A couple of weeks ago, I was really excited to try out my rototiller for the first time. After about 15 frustrating minutes hooking it to the 3-point hitch, I decided that maybe I should have included a quick hitch when I ordered the tractor. Now, don't hate me, Land Pride, but today I'm going to check out the Harbor Freight Quick Hitch. Now, I'll be honest, when I ordered my tractor, I didn't really know what a quick hitch was. And as I started to look into them and see them on other YouTube videos, I kind of felt like the quick hitch was like a training wheels for tractors. And I thought, you know, I can manhandle a 3-point attachment. I've had tractors in the past. I can do this. Well, after hooking up the box blade, which is heavy, after hooking up the rototiller, which is a beast, I decided there's got to be a better way. Now, all of my attachments are Land Pride attachments, really well made. I would like to get the Land Pride QH15 quick hitch attach, but that's about $400 or so. Harbor Freight with a 20% coupon, I was able to pick up the quick hitch for $88. Maybe it's junk, I don't know, but for not having ever used a quick hitch, I think it's a good way to introduce myself to how they work and if it's something that I really like and really need. So I think we should check it out and see if it's worth $88. All right, so let's see what's in this box. Here's a fun little quick tip for you. If you don't have a tool to cut these bands, you've probably tried to peel them apart at the seam, and it's nearly impossible to do so. But here's something I learned years ago. If you flip the band over and peel it from behind, it comes right off. It's worked every time I've tried it. Nice block of foam floating around in there. Instructions. Well, it comes fully assembled. And it doesn't look too bad. The box says it has a 2,000-pound capacity. Has the Category 1 pins already mounted in there. Has an adjustable top link. I say we put it on and give it a try. So before attaching this to the tractor, I thought it might be a good idea to attach it to one of the implements just to see if all the settings and height adjustments are right. So what I'm finding already is that the way this grater box is designed, I won't be able to lift it up in one motion. I'll have to take the top link out, slide it in, and then reconnect it. So what I learned with the box blade is you do in fact use this lower pin here to hook to with the quick hitch. When you use your top link, you use this pin, but you can just avoid that completely. The quick hitch hooks right in there and it works just fine. It does not really connect on all 3 points very well. It kind of hangs, but I've used it and it works really well. Hey, let me just cut in here and explain something to you for just a moment. Most of what you're seeing I shot about a month ago. When the quick hitch was brand new, you saw me take it out of the box. And a lot of what I recorded were my first attempts at using it. I've been using it now for over a month, and I've found out that there are certain tricks that help you manage it better and use it better. At first, I'll be honest, I was not too impressed with it because it didn't seem to work very well. It was kind of clunky. But one thing is to make sure you're on level ground with your implements. If they're cocked, you know, it's difficult to get those 3 points to line up. But I've learned different things along the way, and actually I really like it now. I can hook up my wood chipper quickly, I can hook up my rototiller quickly, my box blade. It doesn't work with my finish mower, and I'll show you what that's like in just a moment and why that doesn't work. Before we get back to the video, Let me just take a moment to thank you for watching. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe and click that little bell so that you get notifications whenever I put out a new video. And also in the comments, let me know what your experience has been with a quick hitch, whether it's the Harbor Freight model or whether it's one of the name brand models. I'd like to know, is there a difference and are they worth the extra money? I would assume that they are. And also the best way to use the quick hitch, things that you've found. Meanwhile, let's get back to that beastly rototiller. So let's drop this rototiller right where it sits in the shed. And then we'll hook up the quick hitch and try to reattach it. Maybe take the drive shaft off first next time. But now it rolled back. It has this foot on the front. Rolled back. Whew. That was a pain. As difficult as that rototiller was to take off, it was 2 or 3 times as hard putting it on. So I'm hoping this helps. Now, the quick hitch has category 1 pins built in. Included, so we'll take those out and line them up. And put them on. There's one. There's the other, and then the top link. That's good. And that's it. It's on. Now the bolts are loose on the top link adjustment, so I'll leave them loose until we actually hook something up and give it a try. One thing I'm concerned about is the length of my PTO shafts. The quick hitch adds, looks like 4 inches of length, so it's very possible that 1 or 2 of my PTO shafts may be short, and if that's the case, I know they do make extensions for the PTO. That's a possibility rather than getting new drive shafts fitted. Yeah, if your PTO drive shafts have already been sized to work with your tractor without a quick hitch, when you add a quick hitch, you'll likely need to add one of these PTO extensions. I picked this one up. It slides right over your current PTO and adds about 4 inches to it, so makes it work great. It's actually a little easier to work with when you're trying to connect your PTO. This sticks out further, so it just seems easier to hook up. This top pin situation just isn't going to work very well. So what I think I'm going to have to do is take this top hook and drop it down and use the bottom pin, which seems to be structural in holding the box blade together, but I'm guessing that it's also intended to be used with a quick hitch. The other Land Pride implements should work the same way. My concern is that I have a Woodland Mills wood chipper, so if things don't line up there, I may have to make adjustments every time I use that. But nothing's perfect. Actually, the Woodland Mills wood chipper is quick hitch compatible. I pointed that out in one of my other videos. If you want to watch that one, you can find it right here. I guess that's why they leave these bolts loose, right? right, that's all the way down. Well, I don't know what's holding that on there because it surely is not connected. Seems to be dangling at the top. There it goes. One thing that's kind of strange is that all the weight is being held by this top hook. The bottom pins are not touching and not hanging, or they're actually hanging rather than touching. I don't like that too much. This would have to actually drop down another ½ inch or so, but that's not possible. Really, the best thing I've learned so far is that when you're backing up to hook up the quick hitch with the 3 points, is to really focus on that top hook and line that up. And when you do that, the 2 lower hooks will tend to line up as well. I'll show you here. When you're backing up, line the top hook up with the top pin. When you do that, these 2 lower ones will relatively line up. You'll have to adjust your top link in and out a little bit, but it's still a lot easier than fighting with the 3-point without the quick hitch. Let me just show you how relatively easy it is to detach and reattach the wood chipper now. It's really best to detach the PTO first. Pretty nice. Probably the biggest complaint that I've seen about the Harbor Freight Quick Hitch is this top hook, that it's a little too close to the bracket itself. So implements tend to hit on this, they bind on it. If Harbor Freight would come out with a Quick Hitch 2.0 and just have a new casting for this top hook that would come out maybe 3/4 of an inch further, a deeper casting or some other design, I think it would really be a lot more popular and would work a lot better. Right, Hutch? Now, with the finish mower, I have not found a way to use the Harbor Freight Quick Hitch. Maybe the Land Pride Quick Hitch works differently because the finish mower does say that it's Quick Hitch compatible. But when I hook the 2 bottom pins in, the top hook just pulls right out. When you raise it, it falls out. It doesn't really hook in there. Now, if I were to hook the top hook into this rear area, I would lose that ability for the mower to float. So if anybody has the solution for this, I'd love to see it. But meanwhile, the finish mower is actually pretty easy to hook up without the quick hitch because you have 3 independent points on the finish mower that float. So you can tend to back up and finagle it a little bit easier. But I just can't figure out how this works with a quick hitch. Now, you saw me struggling to unhook the rototiller, and hooking it up without the quick hitch is really a nightmare for me. It's more so a 2-person job. I found now that with the quick hitch, I can back up, hook it up very quickly, very easily. One thing I did was I added these bushings to increase the size of the Category 1 pins to the larger size. These slide over and then you drive these pins through. I actually had to drill out the hole to a ½ inch hole because I could not get these spring clips to these pins to drive in. Anyway, they sit on there, they work just fine. I've got one on each side, and I hook the hook on the quick hitch to this lower pin instead of the top pin, and it works really well. I'll show you how quick it is to hook up. I have rarely been so frustrated as when I tried hooking up this rototiller the first couple times without the quick hitch. And the first time with the quick hitch was still a challenge until I learned a little bit more about how it works. Now, I'm going to back up. I'm going to line this top hook up with the top pin. The other two should fall into place. You can lock the pins ahead of time and they'll click into place. So I'm going to do this in real time so you can see. And I'll pull up and even change my direction some. That way you can see that this wasn't just staged to line right up. That's it. We're in. Now we just hook up the PTO and good to go. So I have no doubt that the Land Pride Quick Hitch would be better quality than the Harbor Freight Quick Hitch. I mean, the Land Pride costs about 4 times as much. And based on the quality of my other Land Pride attachments, I'm sure it's better. But for now, I'm pretty happy with testing out the Harbor Freight Quick Hitch. It has made my life easier with a few of these implements. Here are my takeaways though. Number 1 is park your implements, your attachments, on flat level ground as much as possible. It'll make it so much easier for detaching and reattaching the implements. The other thing is line up, when you're backing up, line up your top hook. Focus on that one. When you do that, the 2 bottom ones will fall into place for you most of the time. And the other thing is use bushings to adapt your Category 1 pins to a Category 2 or Category 3, wherever you can. Other than that, be patient, take your time, have fun, and happy summer.